Have you ever been moving through life normally, everything going fine, and then suddenly you feel an unexplained heaviness, a strange pressure in your thoughts, a fog in your decisions, a silent emotional weight that doesn't match your circumstances? Most people shrug this off as stress or mood swings or just one of those days. But in spiritual reality, these moments often point towards something deeper, an invisible pressure that targets the most important gateway of your being, your mind. Your head is not just a physical structure. It is the command center of your identity, the place where thoughts form, emotions collect, and decisions are shaped. When something disturbs this inner space, the rest of your life feels unstable, even if nothing external has changed. And that is why the first battlefield is always the mind. The attack on the mind rarely arrives loudly. It comes quietly, almost unnoticed. Sometimes as confusion, sometimes as unrealistic fear, sometimes as overthinking, sometimes as a voice whispering, "You're not enough, you're going to fail, you don't have a purpose." The world labels these experiences as burnout, anxiety, mental fatigue, or emotional exhaustion. But spiritual wisdom teaches that when the mind feels unusually heavy, there is often a deeper cause behind it, a shift happening in your inner world. This is why ancient cultures practiced head anointing. It wasn't superstition or ritual magic. It was a symbolic act of restoring focus, strengthening clarity, and protecting mental space. They understood something we often forget. If the mind collapses, no part of life stays balanced. In today's modern world, we don't use the same symbolic language, but we face the same battles. People lie awake at night because their thoughts want to stop racing. People wake up already exhausted, as if they fought a battle in their sleep. People carry an emotional heaviness that logic alone cannot fix. People feel anxious without knowing why. All of this happens because the mind is the first spiritual gateway, and when it's open, unguarded, or overstimulated, anything can enter: doubt, confusion, irrational fear, inner heaviness, endless loops of overthinking, negative self-talk, emotional instability. Have you ever wondered why your reaction to the same situation changes from day to day? Why something feels easy one day but impossible the next? Why hope and discouragement switch places so quickly? It's because the weight on your mind is never the same. Your mental atmosphere shifts depending on what's influencing your inner world. When the mind is spiritually aligned, clarity comes naturally. You recognize what matters and what doesn't. You see solutions instead of problems. When the mind is spiritually disrupted, everything feels overwhelming, even things that used to be simple. And here is a powerful truth most people never realize. Mental clarity is never accidental. It is a discipline. You must protect the space where your thoughts live. You must guard what enters your inner focus. You must keep your mind aligned with purpose, faith, and intention. If you don't, confusion will move into the spaces you leave empty. Spiritual teachings across centuries agree on one thing: a troubled mind doesn't mean you're broken. It signals that something inside you needs alignment. Maybe your focus. Your eyes are small, but spiritually, they carry enormous power. They don't just look at the world. They let the world enter you. Every image, every scene, every expression, every moment you observe becomes a seed planted inside your inner world. Some seeds grow into clarity and inspiration, while others grow into anxiety, fear, comparison, or temptation. That's why spiritual teachings across cultures have always emphasized what you see affects who you become. Most people think their eyes function only as physical organs. Light enters, images form, and that's the end of it. But anyone who has ever been emotionally shaken by something they saw, a painful scene, a heartbreaking moment, a memory that refuses to fade, knows that vision is more than biology. It is a gateway to the soul. Your eyes collect information that your mind doesn't always process consciously. You look at something for 2 seconds, but your brain will replay it for days, sometimes weeks, sometimes even years. Think about it. A single image can inspire you or break you. A single moment can push you toward growth or trap you in insecurity. A single memory can lift your spirit or drain your strength. That is why the eye gate must be taken seriously, because it silently shapes the world inside you. When your eyes repeatedly witness negativity, chaos, or darkness, your inner world starts absorbing that energy. When your eyes constantly take in comparison, unrealistic standards or artificial perfection, your self-worth becomes fragile. When your eyes are exposed to things that trigger fear or insecurity, your confidence weakens without explanation. Half of the emotional battles people face today started with something they saw, a message that hurt, a scene that disturbed, an image that planted doubt, a moment that made them question their value, a memory that attached itself to their dreams. And the biggest challenge, most people don't even realize what the actual trigger was. Your eyes are also deeply connected to your desires. Whatever you keep looking at grows inside you. If you focus on possibilities, faith increases. If you focus on failures, fear increases. If you focus on what others have, insecurity increases. If you focus on purpose, discipline increases. Your eyes quietly teach your heart what to hunger for. And because this gateway is so powerful, it is also one of the easiest targets for distraction. Not every attack against you comes as a thought. Some come as images meant to pull your attention away from your path. You open your phone for 1 minute, but your eyes are hit with dozens of emotions at once. Envy, anger, fear, desire, confusion, comparison, judgment, disappointment. The modern world floods the eye gate more aggressively than any generation before us. And the more overstimulated your eyes become, the more restless your inner world feels. That is why mastering the eye gate is not about restriction. It's about direction. It's about choosing what deserves access to your inner world. You cannot stop everything from entering your vision, but you can decide which images get to stay inside you. You can choose what you focus on. You can choose what you feed your spirit. Your eyes can be windows to peace or windows to chaos. They can anchor you to purpose or pull you away from it. They can inspire healing or trigger emotional battles you don't understand. So ask yourself, what have my eyes been absorbing lately? Are they feeding my spirit or draining it? Are they strengthening my purpose or weakening it? Are they bringing clarity or confusion? Once you begin to guard the eye gate with intention, something remarkable happens. Your mind becomes clearer, your emotions stabilize, your decisions strengthen, your heart stops drifting toward things that don't align with your future. Because the moment you control what enters the eye gate, you start controlling what grows inside your soul. If the eyes shape what you imagine, the ears shape what you believe. What you hear doesn't just pass through your mind, it sinks into your identity, your confidence, your fears, and your emotional patterns. The ear is a gateway that many people underestimate, yet it is one of the most spiritually sensitive parts of your being. Every voice you allow into your life becomes a silent architect of your inner world. Some voices build you, some break you, some guide you, some confuse you, some give you strength to rise, while others drain your strength without you even noticing. Have you ever realized how one comment, even from years ago, can still affect you? How a single sentence spoken in anger can replay in your mind? How a word of encouragement can lift you instantly, even if nothing else in your life has changed? That is the power of the ear gate. Your ears are not simply organs of sound. They are filters of influence. They choose what gets access to your inner world. They decide what thoughts become louder. They determine which beliefs grow stronger. Everything you hear, conversations, music, arguments, whispers, judgments, encouragement, criticism, becomes a seed planted inside you. The dangerous part, you don't get to choose which seeds grow. You only get to choose which seeds you allow in. Many emotional battles begin with words we didn't even realize affected us. Someone told you you're not enough. Someone laughed at your dream. Someone compared you to others. Someone made you doubt your abilities. Someone predicted your failure. Someone dismissed your voice. These words don't disappear. They sit quietly in your inner world, waiting for moments of weakness to speak again. And then there are the voices we hear repeatedly every day. Social media noise, negative environments, stressful conversations, arguments, complaints, drama, fear-based news, and chaotic soundscapes. All of this floods the ear gate until your spirit feels tired without explanation. A tired mind can still think. A tired body can still move. But a tired spirit struggles to believe, trust, hope, or move forward. And the ear gate plays a major part in this spiritual exhaustion. Because when the wrong voices enter your life repeatedly, they start shaping your inner dialogue, the voice you hear. Even when the world is silent, most people do not realize this, but your inner voice is built from the voices you listen to most often. If you listen to fear, you will think fearfully. If you listen to negativity, you will think negatively. If you listen to judgment, you will judge yourself harshly. If you listen to purpose, you will think with direction. If you listen to faith, your spirit becomes strong. The ear gate determines the frequency of your inner world. This is why some people feel lost, even though their life looks stable. Their ear gate is filled with noise that contradicts who they're becoming. And this is why some people gain confidence and clarity so quickly. They intentionally surround themselves with voices that lift them higher. The voices you hear daily create the atmosphere of your spirit. Think about how powerful that is. You may not see sound, but you feel the effect of every word that enters you. Some sounds carry peace, some carry chaos, some carry purpose, some carry distraction, some carry healing, some carry damage. The ear gate is where alignment begins or falls apart. If you want spiritual clarity, you must adjust what you listen to. If you want emotional stability, you must silence the voices that feed your anxiety. If you want confidence, you must reject the voices that feed insecurity. If you want to grow, you must filter the voices that stunt your belief. Protecting the ear gate isn't about isolating yourself. It's about choosing influence consciously. It's about deciding which voices deserve to shape your spirit. Because once you master what enters your ears, you begin to transform your inner world from the inside out. Your hands are the tools through which invisible intentions become visible realities. Every plan you create, every dream you hold, every emotion you feel, eventually flows outward through your hands. They are the physical gateway where your inner world becomes action, movement, discipline, and creation. Spiritually, the hands represent what you do, what you build, what you pursue, and what you allow yourself to touch. Your hands reveal your direction long before your words do, because intentions may live in the mind, but identity is revealed through action. Every decision you make leaves fingerprints on your future. Think for a moment. Your hands have held things that shaped you. Your hands have released things that freed you. Your hands have built, destroyed, healed, created, and pushed you forward. Your hands have done things your heart remembers, even when your mind forgets. And this is why, throughout history, the hands have been considered one of the most spiritually symbolic gateways. Ancient cultures used hand washing, hand lifting, hand anointing, and hand blessing as expressions of cleansing, authority, intention, and purpose. Because they understood a truth many people overlook today. Your actions carry spiritual weight. What you touch influences you. What you give energy to grows. What you repeatedly do becomes your direction. What you commit your hands to becomes your identity. Many people feel stuck not because their dreams are small, but because their hands are tied to things that drain them. They give their energy to cycles that don't align with their purpose. They invest their strength into distractions. They work hard, but not toward the life they truly desire. Your hands can build your destiny, but they can also trap you in patterns that slow your progress. This gateway becomes even more important when you consider how everyday choices affect your spiritual and emotional health. Your hands are involved in the habits you practice, the work you pursue, the environments you engage with, the people you support, the commitments you carry, the distractions you entertain, the goals you chase, the boundaries you set or break. Every action you take reinforces a direction, even if you aren't conscious of it. The biggest mistake people make is believing that small actions don't matter. But spiritually, consistency is more powerful than intensity. A small but repeated action can change the course of your life. A small but harmful action can quietly damage your spirit. A small but purposeful action can rebuild your identity. A small but misaligned action can take you far from your calling. Your hands reveal whether you are aligned with your higher purpose or drifting from it. Ask yourself, what have my hands been involved in lately? Are they building something meaningful? Or are they feeding cycles that drain my confidence, time, and energy? Sometimes your hands hold on to things your spirit has already outgrown. Sometimes your hands are busy, but your soul is empty. Sometimes your hands are productive, but not purposeful. Sometimes your hands are working, but not towards anything fulfilling. Spiritual clarity begins when you examine what you allow your hands to do, because your actions eventually shape your destiny. But the hands are not just tools of effort, they are tools of power. Your hands can comfort, your hands can create, your hands can lift others, your hands can remove what shouldn't be in your life, your hands can open doors that have been closed for years. Your hands can be reminders that you have the ability to rebuild, reset, redesign, and rise. Mastering this gateway means choosing your actions consciously, aligning what you do with who you are becoming. Because once your hands become intentional, your life begins to move in the direction of purpose, not pressure. The stomach may seem like a simple physical organ, a place where food is digested and energy is created. But spiritually, it carries a much deeper symbolism. It represents desire, appetite, discipline, and the internal battles that shape your long-term direction. It is the gateway that reveals what you hunger for, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. Every person has desires. The longing to be seen, the need for purpose, the craving for comfort, the hunger for progress, validation, love, success, or peace. But the stomach gateway determines how you respond to these desires and whether your appetites control you or you control them. Your stomach is the center where physical appetite meets emotional appetite. This is why people stress eat, comfort eat, or lose their appetite when distressed. Because the stomach responds not only to food, but to the state of the heart and mind. Spiritually, this gateway is about self-control, discipline, and what you allow yourself to consume. In every sense of the word, you may not realize it, but you are always consuming something. You consume information. You consume emotions. You consume conversations. You consume habits. You consume environments. You consume energy from the people around you. And everything you consume affects your inner world, just like food affects the body. Some things nourish you, some things poison you, some things strengthen you, some things weaken you, some things build discipline, some things create dependence. The stomach gateway teaches one profound truth: what you feed will grow, what you starve will weaken. Many people struggle not because they don't have goals, but because their appetites are pulling them away from those goals. For example, you want clarity, but you consume chaos. You want peace, but you consume negativity. You want self-control, but you feed impulsive habits. You want discipline, but you constantly entertain distractions. You want spiritual strength, but you feed emotional cravings. Your desires are powerful, but your discipline determines their direction. This is why ancient traditions emphasized fasting, restraint, and intentional consumption, not to punish the body, but to strengthen the inner world. When you learn to say no to your appetites, you become spiritually stronger. You prove to yourself that you are in control, not your cravings. The stomach gateway is where discipline is born. It's where emotional maturity develops. It's where spiritual sensitivity becomes sharper. Because when the appetites of the body come under alignment, the appetites of the heart follow. Think about this. Every time you resist an unhealthy desire, you build inner strength. Every time you choose what is right over what is easy, your spirit becomes more grounded. Every time you walk away from something that drains your purpose, you elevate your identity. But when the stomach gateway is open and undisciplined, you become vulnerable to temptation, distraction, and emotional instability. You get pulled toward things that feel good in the moment but weaken you in the long run. You chase temporary comforts instead of long-term growth. You satisfy feelings instead of feeding your spirit. Your stomach is not just where food settles, it is where decisions settle. It is the space where you choose whether to be led by discipline or by desire. Ask yourself, what do I feed myself daily, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually? Are my appetites aligned with my future? Do my habits push me forward or pull me back? Do I feed my purpose or my distractions? Do I strengthen my spirit or my excuses? Once you take control of this gateway, something powerful happens. Your confidence increases, your willpower strengthens, your self-respect grows, your emotional resilience becomes unshakable, your spirit becomes focused. Because when you master your appetites, you gain mastery over your life. The heart is the final gate, the deepest one, the most powerful one, and the one that determines the direction of every other gate before it. Throughout human history, the heart has always been described as the spiritual command center. Thoughts may begin in the mind, but the heart gives them life. Emotions may stir in the body, but the heart decides whether they take root. And battles may form in the spiritual atmosphere, but victory or defeat is ultimately shaped by the condition of the heart. The heart is where intention is born. It is where belief stabilizes. It is where fear tries to whisper, hope tries to rise, and discipline tries to stay steady. Many people try to fix their life by targeting behaviors, habits, or circumstances. But the deeper truth is this: nothing truly changes until the heart changes. Because when the heart shifts, the atmosphere of your entire inner world realigns. A stressed heart can distort your perception. A hopeful heart can renew your strength. A broken heart can weaken your spiritual resilience. A guarded heart can protect your clarity. And a spiritually awakened heart can transform your entire life from the inside out. However, the heart is also the most attacked gate. Negative memories, unresolved grief, betrayal, loneliness, doubts, old patterns, and emotional fatigue all find their way toward the heart, hoping to influence its rhythm. When these pressures accumulate, the heart becomes heavy. And when the heart becomes heavy, every other gate suffers. Your mind becomes less focused. Your ears become more sensitive to negativity. Your eyes struggle to see possibilities. Your hands lose confidence. Your feet lose direction. And your spirit feels disconnected. That is why heart care is not optional. It is a spiritual necessity. Cleansing the heart is not about forcing your emotions to disappear. It is about creating enough room inside your inner world for healing, clarity, and divine alignment to breathe again. Sometimes this means reflecting on your emotional experiences honestly instead of avoiding them. Sometimes it means releasing old guilt or wounds you've been carrying for far too long. And sometimes it means quieting your environment long enough to allow spiritual peace to fill the spaces where anxiety once lived. One of the most powerful ways to restore the heart is through intentional stillness. Moments where you give your inner world permission to settle. The heart cannot heal in chaos. It repairs itself in silence, reflection, and spiritual connection. When you sit in stillness, your heart begins to sort through what is weighing it down. It becomes easier to distinguish between what belongs to you and what was placed on you by circumstances, people, or past experiences. Another essential part of heart restoration is forgiveness, not as a reward to others, but as freedom for yourself. Carrying emotional heaviness drains spiritual strength. Releasing it allows the heart to breathe again. This freedom strengthens your resilience and helps you rise above patterns that used to limit your clarity. Gratitude is another powerful heart shifter. When the heart focuses only on what is missing, it becomes anxious. When it focuses on what is wrong, it becomes stressed. But when it shifts toward appreciation, even for the smallest parts of life, the atmosphere inside begins to lift. Gratitude is not denial, it is direction. It tells the heart, look again, there is still something good here. Finally, spiritual alignment completes the restoration process. When the heart reconnects with purpose, with faith, with meaning, and with divine guidance, that the entire inner world becomes stabilized. The thoughts become clearer, the emotions become calmer, and the decision-making becomes wiser. A spiritually aligned heart does not eliminate life's challenges. It simply stops collapsing under their weight. This sixth gate teaches a powerful truth. The heart is not just where your emotions live. It is where your spiritual identity strengthens. When the heart is steady, the atmosphere within you becomes unshakable. And when the atmosphere becomes unshakable, every gate from the mind to the feet becomes aligned, protected, and empowered